So anybody added but not sure the best way. Yeah, it's not. Question is not the best way. Question is you should be able to do the things. In the future you can optimize it anytime and make it more optimizable gradually. But first task is you should be able to do it. Okay. So I will check it right now. I don't have so much time to go through each line, but I will copy it and I will check it when I'm free. So I'll get your code and see if it is what I'm expecting. And never think that you have done the best way or not, because if you are able to do things, that's the only thing I'm looking at. In interview, though, people will ask you the best way to do the things, but that best way you will gradually acquire slowly when slowly when you do the things more and more. So don't worry that if you have done best way or not. Just try to do the things. That's the goal of the now. Later on, after you've done with the right solution, you can optimize it anytime in your lifetime. So I will check both the code after the class and I'll give you the feedback. So the aim of this, I will show you my solution. I'm also not saying my solution will be the best one, or maybe your solution is more better than me. It can happen. Maybe you have optimized it more than what I have done it. So it doesn't matter, but at least I will show you what is my method is, and and I will check your method also. And if I feel that your method is much optimized, much better than my method, then I will show that method also to other students. So this is the string which we are trying to work on the project. And the main thing which I'm giving you this problem because this will, if you do this problem every day, even if it's wrong or right, but at least your mind will go on working. And when you go for interview, your mind will be, in a running mode, and you will be able to solve much more problems in the interview than previously. So we will be doing the problem every day, though it's a easy or difficult, or if you get the solution or not, that's different thing, but you should try to get the solution. So main thing is you should make your brain work. And if it's a wrong solution, I don't care for now. Gradually, you will acquire that understanding to make it correct and make it optimized also. So the thing is that this is the string, example string. The quick brown fox jumps, then quickly blow air. And when we run through this, our function, it should show me this f number, because f is the non-repeating. You cannot see f anywhere in the string, and this is the first non-repeating character. If I say b, b is also repeated here. If I say q, q is also repeated here. So this f is the only one which is not repeated, and this is the first one. There may be other also, but we don't care. We care only about the first one. So let's try to do this one. So I will create a function called as first non-repeat character, and I will pass a string in this function. So what are the idea how I will go through this one? So the idea for this will be, let's write down the idea how we will try to do the things. So let's say I will create an object and I will put each character in this object. So for example, I will take t and I will say obj of t is equal to 1. Then I'll take H and I'll make the count of that one also 1. Then I will take E and I will also make the count of E equal to 1. Then there is a space character, and then I will also take the space character and make it 1. Then there is Q. I will do same thing for the Q, U, I, C, K. I'll go with the B, R, O, W, N, F, O, X, all the characters, J, U, M, P, S. Then again I'll get the T. So since I have previously T already there, I will make it 2 for the T. And if I reach this H part, I will also make this H equal to +1, that is 2. Then I'll reach E, also I'll make the E equal to 2 because it occurs twice 2 times. I will also make this space character as 2 or 3 or whatever it is. And then I will reach to F also, and then I'll make F also as 1. And then I will do it for all the characters like this till end. And then I will go through loop again and see which one has one number. So once I get the F as a one number, I will come out of the loop and I will consider this F as the final result. So first I will go through the whole character length and I will create the object like this. And again I will go through whole list again, second time. And then I will see which one has a one number. And once I found the one number, once I found object of F equal to 1, then I will come out of the loop and I will consider that as a final result. So this is the idea which we will be trying to do. So let's start with the function. First I will say how many characters are there. So I will say length is equal to str.length. We have the str, get the total string count. And I can say console.log length is length. Then I will create a variable called as character or object equal to object will be there. And then I will go through the loop, go through each character and save it, save the count in the object variable. And after we are done with the loop, I will loop again to see which one is of count 1. So let's go to the first loop. I will say for var I is equal to 0, I less than length I plus plus. So I have the length of the string. I will go through each of the length and then I will say console.log I is I and character is, I will say character will be str of I. So let's run this program right now till this and see what console.log we are getting. So I will call this function str. This is a string which I'm trying to work on. So this is my Chrome. Okay, I'm getting 0 character is T, H, E. So I'm getting all the characters till the last character. Okay, now what we will do, I am here. Now I will check whether this character is inside this object or not. So I will say if obj of this character, if obj of this character is present, that means we already have that character inside this object. So we will add, so we will, okay, please use this code for checking the bow has a typo. Okay, let me see. Okay, I will take your one, new one. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm checking if this character is inside this object. If this character is inside this object, then I will increase the count. So we have to increase the count. Since if this character is already present, we have to increase the count. So I will check if the object has this character, for example T, then I will increase the count like this. str I plus plus. So I will take this object with the character which we are looping, and I will increase the number to 1 plus. And if this character is not inside this object, that means this is the new character, and I will create I will put this character inside the object. So how to put the character inside the object? I will say obj of stri is equal to 1. So since this character is not inside this object, I will initiate it with 1. But second time when loop will run, and if we found that this character is inside the object, we will increase the count. So initially it was 1, second time it will go 2, 3, 4 and follow on. Now I will see the object is obj. Now once I will put every character inside this object, I will check what is the object is currently. So now my object is A is 1, B is 2, C is 2, E is 2, I is 3, F is 1. There are many characters which are one number, but we cannot take all the characters, because as per the question, we have to take the first non-repeating character. So there are many one characters which are having the one value, but we will take the first one which is comes in the string and which has a value of 1. So what we will do, we will loop again. I will say var j equal to 0. So I say var j equal to 0. J less than len j plus plus. So now again I will loop through each one, and I will try to find out the count for each one. And count is obj of str I. Okay, so I took the console.log of I of j. We have to check the j right now. J, and I'll say j, and I'll say character is this, and I will see the count, how much is the count is. I will comment this previous line. Okay, so this is the object, and I'm going through each one, and I'm seeing how much is the count for each one. So T is having the count of 2, H is having the count of 2, E is having the count of 2, space is having the count of 8, Q is 2, U is 3, I is 3, C is 2, K is 2, space is 8, B is 2, R is 2, 0 is 3, W is 2, N is 2, space is 8, and F is 1. So this F is 1 is the character. Here we got the count of 1. So this is the character which is non-repeating because the count is 1. And I don't want to go further because I got this one as a F. So what I will do here, I will put the condition if obj of strj, that is this count, is equal to 1. If we found it as a 1, we will return this character. Okay, and if we don't get any of this character, we may return something. In the end, we may return maybe return false. So if we get nothing, that means we did not found any non-repeating character. So here I will say var result is equal to first non-repeating character, then I say console.log result is result. Okay, and I will comment this line because this is too much big line, and I'll refresh it. So I'm getting result of F. This is what I was expecting, and I get it correctly. So this is something I would have done like this. Maybe your solution is much better than me. I will check your solution. And if your solution is more optimized, then I will tell that solution to everybody so that everybody can get that one. I will put these two solutions here in this file so that I can study it being saved in my file. So that's it for today's project, and tomorrow I will give you another project, another coding. So let me create two number. So this is for tomorrow, you have to do. So there are two questions which you have to do. Maybe you can complete both tomorrow, or you can complete one tomorrow, one on Monday. So the question is sum finder. This is a simple problem. So you will be given an array and the total and a number. So what you have to do, you have to add two numbers in the array. So for example, array is like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I will give you the number as 3. So what you have to do, you have to add these two numbers, and if it matches with this one, then you come out of the loop and say that the result is true. Or if I give this number as 9, so what you have to do, you have to add these two numbers, then add these two numbers, then add these two numbers, then add these two numbers, and once you get 9, you say that result found, and you come out of the loop. So this is called the sum finder, and here you have to find the sum of the two numbers. So here you have to find the sum of the two numbers should be equal to the total provided. So sum of the two numbers should be the sum total provided. This is a simple one. And second is little complex. This is similar to the first one, but it is complex in it like this. So for example, here I will give this array, and this is same thing. This is the complex problem, little bit complex. So sum of n numbers should be equal to the total provided. So in this case, you will do 1 plus 2. You will check whether it's matching with the 9, yes or no. Let's say no. Then you will add 1, 2, 3, whether it's adding with the 9, whether it's adding to the 9, no. Then you 1, 2, 3, 4, and you will match if it is adding to the 9, no. Then you will do with 5 and you will do with the 6. And if it doesn't matches, you start with the second number. Now do second plus third. If it is matches, no. Add second plus third plus fourth. If it matches with the 9, then you come out of the loop and say yes, matches. If not, then you have to add again 4 number. Then you have to match again with the 6th number. And if it doesn't matches, you have to start with again with the 3 number. 3 and 4, add these 2 numbers. Then add these 2 numbers. Then add these 3 numbers. And if it doesn't matches, then again start with the 4 and 5. And since the 4 and 5 matches, you come out of the loop and say 9 is correct. So you have to go start with the first and match with all the numbers one by one and see which one is matching with the number provided. So these are the 2 questions. Maybe you try to finish this tomorrow and do this on Monday, or if you have time, finish both tomorrow and give it to me tomorrow. So this is the question. And these 2 questions were asked in Google also and in Facebook also. So these 2 are very important problems. It can be asked in any company and in any interview. So let's go to the third file number. We will start our our object-oriented JavaScript study. So let's put the script tag. Okay, so today we will start with the first topic which we will start today is called as self-invoking functions. So it is called self-invoking functions. So generally when we create the function, we have to call that function to execute that function. Self-invoking function is something where you create the function and you invoke the function immediately. So there is no time where you call that function and then invoke that function to render that function. So as soon as you create the function, you render that function. That is called self-invoking function. Self-invoking function is only one time. You can run it twice, because as soon as the page will load, this function will run and you don't have time to call it again, because this function does not have the name. So this function is generally, whenever page is loaded, this function is called, and it cannot be called twice or 3 times. It is only one time call to this function. So for example, if I create a function like this function, and here I will say alert boo. So this is a function without name. If I just keep it like this, it will give error. But if I start with the round bracket and I end with the round bracket, so I put this function in a bracket, round bracket, and then I invoke that function immediately. So invoke means I will call this function immediately. So what I did, I opened the bracket and closed the bracket. So this function is wrapped inside this bracket, and then I call this open bracket, close bracket to call this function immediately. So if I run this file now, so let me run this file here now. I will refresh. So you will see immediately I get the boo as an alert message, and then it's done. So on the page load, it immediately runs this function and we get the result. And this function cannot be called twice because it does not have name, and it is called immediately as soon as it is defined. So this is called self-invoking function. We will see the reason where this function is generally used, and What is the situation where this function is used? I will tell you in a couple of minutes. Let's say one more example. So I will say alert function. I will pass the parameter in that called as name, and then I can say hello plus name, and I will pass this name as a parameter inside bracket. So I will say maybe here I will pass as a maybe I can pass as a Sanjay. So I pass Sanjay here. It will go as a parameter here in the function name, and it will alert me hello Sanjay. So let's see this one. So it's saying hello Sanjay. So we can pass parameter also inside the function using the parameter here and passing the parameter from here. So this is the way we pass the parameter to the self-invoking function. So this function is created in this round bracket. So this function is kind of generally is called that it is without the globals. So it has all the variables inside it, and it does not generally create the global variable, and all the variables will be tied inside this round bracket. So it has the advantage that creating a function without the global variable. And the drawback of this function is that you cannot execute this function twice. So it is only one time. And so when is this best used for? It is best used for initialization task. So if you have a project where you have to put some initialization task, that is when the page load, you want to do something that is called initializing task, you can put all those initializing work inside this round bracket and inside this self-invoking function. So it will run only one time whenever the page will load, and this will initialize all the things which you want. So this is the use of the self-invoking function. This is all about self-invoking function. Let's move to the another topic of the day, and that topic is called as private functions or inner functions. So we will see now private functions and inner functions. So whenever we create a function, for example, I create a function A with some parameters, and then I can create variables inside this function, or I can also create another function inside this function. For example, I will create function B, and maybe I can say input, and I will say return in into 2. What I created an external function, and I also created internal function. So this internal function or private function is only accessible inside this function. I cannot call this function outside this function because the scope of this one lies only inside the top function. So if I say try to call B with some value, it will give error. It will not work. Let's try to let me show you. So let's go to the console.log. So it's saying B is not defined. So why it's saying B is not defined? Because B is actually located inside the top function, and it is not accessible in the global world. This outside world is called the global world, and B is not available in the global world. So this function is called a private function because it cannot be accessed from the outside. But I can call this function inside this function. So if I want to access the B, I can say like this: return the result is B, and I will say param. So param is coming from here, which is going through this one, and here I'm calling B. So that param which I called from outside is passed to the B function, and the return, that is whatever value, if I pass 2, 2 will be multiplied with 2, so answer will be 4, which will come outside from here. So if I want to test it, I will say A of 2. If I say A of 2, it will go, A will be called and param will be 2, and this param will go here to the another function B with of 2. So 2 will go as an input, and 2 into 2 will become 4. So the result will be the 4. So if I do console.log of A of 2, I will get the value of 4. So here I'm getting the result is 4. So for example, if I pass 6, so 6 will go here and 6 will pass to the B function, and 6 into 2 will become 4. 6 into 2 become 12. So I'm getting the result is 12. So this is called a private function, and this function is private because it is created inside another function, and this function is not accessible from the outside world. It can only be accessible inside this function, that is inside the A function, because it has a scope of only A function. It does not have a scope of the global. So outside the function, that is in the global space, I cannot call B function. B function can only be called inside the function A. We can write this in another form also, like this. I can say var A equal to function param, and I can say var B is equal to function input, return input into 2, and here I can say return the result is B param. So either I can write it in this format or I can write it in this format. Both will give the same result. So the advantage of this is, whatever you want to expose to the outside world, whatever you want to hide something from the outside world, you can make it as a private function, and then that function will not be available outside world, and you can keep this function inside the function, and this will be in the private space, and it will only work inside this function. So generally people try to avoid the global things, because if I create too many global variables, then it will affect my programming, because lot of global variables will make my programming very bad, and I will not be able to know which variable I am trying to update it and which variable is really updating, because in global space there will be too many variables, and many times it happens that two variables have same name and it will collide with each other, and we will get unexpected results. So people try to avoid the global variables, and this is the best way. We try to avoid the global variables and we put the things as a private, so that we can concentrate only on this logic, and we are sure that this logic will not be available outside the main function, and it will be easy for me to debug and make the program workable in future. So for the large companies, or where we have very large projects, these private functions are really helpful, because I only have to concentrate on this function. I don't have to think over all code base that any other code base will be affected or not. So my thinking will be only on this part, and it will be easy to debug or fix the problem, because my concentration will be only in this part. If it is in the global space, then I have to go through all the files to see where exactly this function is called and whether it will create problem in that place or not. But since it is done in the private space, So it will only affect this private space, and my whole coding will not be affected if I try to fix something in this function. So this is the way private functions are used very much in the JavaScript. It will help us to uh, concentrate our code base on very small things. So this is all for today. Tomorrow and Monday we will do some more examples of the function, and then we'll start with the closures. Closures is very important topic in the JavaScript. So we will start maybe tomorrow or on Monday. We'll start the closures, and in every interview they ask about closures. So whatever interview you go for JavaScript, closures is the must question in all interview. So we will see what is the closure, how to create the closure, and we will see some of the examples of the closure maybe tomorrow or on Monday. If we get time tomorrow, we'll start closures tomorrow. But if we don't get time tomorrow, we will start the closures on Monday, because I have one more topic to do before the closures, which I will do tomorrow.